Hello there everyone, Soul Super 17 here. Let me get through this like usual. I do not own this picture and this is not a big video. Alright, okay. So, here's the thing. I know this is new what if. I got a couple more what if second coming out along with the Persona one. I got the pictures I need. But I just need to I know where I want to go with the story too. That one may come out tomorrow along with the Taskmaster one. Or tonight. Depends. Alright. But anyways, this is a what if Deku was betrayed? And I am also making him Madara Uchiha's reincarnation. Because I want to do a Madara what if, and someone wanted me to do like what if Naruto was betrayed. I think also they also said like what if like no I mean like not what if Naruto, what if Deku was betrayed, and what if he was also Madara Uchiha? I don't know, but I wanted to make a Madara Uchiha one, so they kind of gave me the perfect reason to do this. Um, so how this is gonna happen? Well, one, it's gonna be after Madara's death again, when he comes to Ten Tails. So it's like when he gets take over, and then he actually dies again and such. The Sage of Six Paths saw his whole entire life. So let's just say he took a whim. He just let him have a second chance at life. And he tells him that he will have the full-on Renegon, which is in the picture, but Renegon, Sharingan, he'll get that, and then he'll just have his own his just after that. There's something to be after that, but he'll just tell him that it's just some it'll be your eyes are normal, but for some weird reason you'll be able to see everything in slow motion, basically. So yeah, so that's how Madara will remember. Well, not Madara. Well, Deku is, because Deku is his reincarnation. So, but Deku will have all memories. He will have all memories. He will not have some spiritual version of himself in there. No, it is Madara. Madara is choosing to act like Deku. He is willing to be going put through this because one, he realizes this is a different world and has no ninjas, so he can't go around just ending people's lives and such, going on missions because there is none. He can't do anything like that. So basically, Madara is just going by Izuku Midoriya. He puts on the mask. He doesn't show himself really to anyone, not even his own mother, not even to Inko, which Inko knows. He has a quirk. Well, what she believes, because the entire eyes were starting to flicker when he was a baby and such. And Deku is no slouch in this. He is physically fit. He trains in taijutsu, martial arts, like karate, ten, like karate, mixed martial arts, and kendo. He trains in those. And he doesn't allow himself to use his chakra, which he knows he has. He does not use no jutsus because he gave him all jutsus. He gave him every single knowledge of every single jutsu, and that way he can create his own. But anyways, enough of me explaining about this. Deku, how he is really Madara, and he just pretends to be different and all that. And he's not accepting himself. He's gonna be more relaxed and less serious, but also kind of funny, at times too. Um, you know, and Uraraka is gonna be dating Bakugo, and he's gonna be betrayed because of in this one, Bakugo, Uraraka, and the bullies aren't really bullying him at all. because he has been like over the years he kind of has been letting out, like he's been trying to hold back on the whole time Madara Uchiha thing and being like beating people up and beating them nearly to death and all that. But there has been like some times where Bakugo was outnumbered and he just comes in out of nowhere with a freaking piece of wood or staff and just starts smacking them around, like easily taking them down like they're just nothing without even the Sharingan activated. So yeah, that's the reason why they've been, somewhat friends. Even though he's quirkless. You know. So yeah. But anyways, that's enough of that. Oh, there is gonna be a ship. I'm gonna let you know right now there is, and I have a good idea who it's gonna be, and it's not from anyone from UA. It's gonna be a girl from Neuro Hero School. I'm gonna have her transfer over into it. So yeah. Okay. So this is what Naruto was betrayed / was the reincarnation of Madara Uchiha. Part 1. Alright. So Deku. We're starting off, well, him just at the quirk doctor. And they saying he's quirkless. But Inko tells them about how his eyes were flickering like red and such when he was younger, which he's thinking to himself, crud, why did that happen? Why did the Sharingan have to activate then? I know I can use the 3 Tomoe without no like trouble, even the Eternal Mangekyo, the Renegon, and such, and I just have to get my like own Renegon, my Rena Sharingan. I think that's the thing. I believe so. If not, then correct me. But it's like the Renegon, but it has the Tomoes in it. So yeah. But anyways, he was told that he would not lose his eyesight because the world he's going to would not have no chakra, and everyone's weaker because they rely too much on a power that they have, which is called quirks. So yeah, but so he changed the whole entire Sharingan to basically where he would never lose his eyesight. So he knows that. So basically, we're like, I'm gonna do this get into the juicy stuff, but this is all like stuff that happens. Bakugo does bully him. When he finds out that he's quirkless, he takes the pain. It's barely doing nothing to him. Basically, like he knows about chakra control and all that. He's doing it. He's been doing it like since he could walk. Basically, he's just been like even reading. His mom's been calling him a freaking genius because Madara is, and he's really smart in this one. So, but he hides it when he's around other people than his mom. He does have that fascination with quirks because even though he's Madara, I am gonna give still the same old canon Deku stuff like to him because this is to Madara something new, something interesting, and everything's so unique. So he's interested in quirks, so he analyzes quirks and all that. And he idolizes All Might, even though he is the great Madara Uchiha. All Might is something about him that he just needs to talk to him like so badly. He has a feeling he needs to talk to him. Like he just has a gut feeling that if he talks to him that he's gonna find out something, and he needs to know why he needs to talk to him so badly. So he kind of like since the day he found out about All Might, he just like keeps on trying to find All Might, just searching any website, any like area that All Might was seen in. Yeah, he just searches for him. That's over the years too. And basically before they get in the first year of middle school, we're skipping to Bakugo, tells Deku. Bakugo has a girlfriend named Ochako, and Deku doesn't really talk to her. She kind of like tells Bakugo to stop bullying people, stop bullying him so much, even though he's quirkless. She's being friendly to him because that's how her parents, treat him. Taught her. But in reality, like everyone else, she doesn't care about him. She's just doing it because she's just being nice. Deku can tell. Well, Madara can tell, basically. But when Bakugo does get, like, literally, it was like, there's like 27 guys, and with different quirks, and they all know about Bakugo's, like, basically quirk and all that, which he's, like, basically, like, outmatched, and he's going, like, crud, why did it have to be this many guys? I'm taking them all out one by one, it's not even working. I keep on doing bigger explosions, next thing you know, the guys with the weaker cores come in, taking the hits or something else. I hate this. As he's basically just making explosions. And next you just hear like, what the who are someone just gets hit by a freaking bow staff and they just go like, who the heck is this? You just fly in the air and such. As Baku's just seeing this person just taking them down like real quick. And then he actually Deku not activating the Sharingan. Basically, Madara doesn't have the Sharingan. He's just not even using no jutsu. He's just fighting them. Actually, uses the bow staff that he just like not even found. He basically asked the person for the if they could borrow this real quick. As he says there's like some kids picking on another student over there. As they like, oh, let me call that. As he says, no need, I can take care of them by myself. As he just grabs like the broom, like turn like gets it's like that one where you can take off the broom part, and basically he has that, and he's just using that as a bow staff basically. As everyone's going flying in the air, as he even kicks one right past he kicks one, it goes right past Bakugo, and he's saying Deku. As in when one of them vessels throws his quirk, he dodges it, grabs the person by the throat, has him up in the air, and they're like 12, and he just says, "You'll leave him alone. You'll never come after him again, and if you do, I'll make sure I won't go easy on you next time." And then he just drops the guy, and they just all just start grabbing their friends and start running. Bakugo says, I didn't need your help, you quirkless loser. As then Deku just looks at him, just different. Like, he just glaring at him, and then he just walks away. Bakugo felt the first time ever from him was fear. Like, he knows that wasn't Deku. That was something else. That was someone else he was sensing. And no, Baku is not gonna be the one who betrays him. I'm doing this more like a, sort of thing. So basically, after that, he has been hanging out with with Baku and his friends, which everyone's questioning why, and Baku just says, because we were childhood friends before, and I saw something different within him, so canon extras. And so basically, when Ochako, his two goons, and a couple other friends of Bako start talking to Deku, and they're finding out that he's really smart. He's really intelligent. He's kind of funny. Ochako and him are getting closer, but not in like that, like love way. It's more like a friendship way. And then during the summer when they hang out, he also meets a girl named Cammy and one of her friends. She, basically her and Deku, her and Madara just talk. Uraraka, kind of like tease them about it because she's been with Bako, so she has more confidence in herself. And Deku, Madara does tell her about her quirk and such and helps her out along with Cammy, and Cammy knows Bakugo, but sorry about that everyone. Just had to burp, but yeah. So basically, what's happening is Uraraka is his best friend. He trusts her with his past life. He trusts her. So, but he needs to make sure he has everything sorted out. So that's during the summer he decides he's gonna tell her, his best friend, because that is his best friend. Like Baku is his childhood best friend, but she is his best friend. Like you'll go and tell them your darkest secret, and hopefully hope they will never tell anyone, and they won't, because he thinks she's that type of person. She'll never tell anyone, and she's that close to him. But while Deku's away, Bakugo sees the real Uraraka, and she just says, "Finally, that quirkless is gone." Which every time she says that, Bakugo gets this annoyance from her. He just hates that from her. I mean, he'd done it before. He literally, over the summer, every time he had enough of Uraraka saying that, so and the way he felt was like guilt. So he goes over to Deku's house, I mean his apartment, tells him Inko, oh he calls him Auntie Inko, I have something to tell you. When Midoriya is just, well, not Midoriya, when Deku is just out, so he tells her everything he's done. He even tells his mother, like he calls her up to come over. He tells him everything. Mitsuki is about to yell at him. Inko just walks up to him, just slaps, and that's when Deku just walks in. And she says, "How dare you do that to my son? You were best friends just because he had no quirk you." And he goes, "I know it was wrong. I regret it. All right." And he is surprised. Deku, I mean, when Deku just walks in, basically, he says, "You regret what? Hurting me, calling me quirkless, a loser? It doesn't matter. You don't know me, really." And they all just look at him and goes, "What?" He goes, "Nothing." He just walks away, and Inko never seen this side of him, this coldness to him. And he just looks back at Bako and says, "Oh, I accept your apology, Kachan." And and let's just say he has never heard him say Kachan after the bully, and he just says, "Why you bully me, Bakugo?" So him finally saying Kachan, he just starts crying. Misuki asks him what's wrong. He says he hasn't called me Kachan in years, which surprises Inko because she says he always called it all the time, and he just says he has never called it to my face though. That nerd. God. He doesn't like crying in front of people, but still, it's like he's just happy. So that he gets changed. He comes back out, and they just start talking all, and Inko asks why you never told him, and he goes because honestly he never did really any damage to me. Sure, they like ruined some clothing and such, but it was really nothing. They're like, what? He just goes, I'll explain everything in time. All right, just I just need some time to think. I need to tell somebody first about it. So yeah. So what happens is Deku, you know, okay, I'm just gonna stop calling him Deku. I'm just saying Madara. Basically, Madara just kind of thinks about it a lot over summer, even like till like the day of the anime. And Uraraka does not go to the same school as them, so yeah. But let's just say her school gets out early, and their school has like a festival with his school and Bakugo's, so they come there anyways that day, and the teacher just throws up all the paper. Everyone asks who wants to be a hero and such, and the same thing happens with Bakugo, but he's not really cocky anymore. He's not cocky because of Deku. Deku has been slowly telling him more about himself. He has been telling him about certain things he has. Like he just says, "Oh, I keep having these dreams or memories, and it's just always weird and such." And he says he can able to copy the movement of them and even do some things like them. He's been doing it for years, but he's just always afraid of doing it because it's way more powerful than a quirk. And he goes, "Wait, what?" He goes, "Like it's called Chakra. Chakra is the life energy of people. Everyone has it, but quirks, everyone relies on it too much." So Bakugo has asked him to show it, and he has shown a fireball jutsu. He has shown him a fireball jutsu before, and the destruction of it, and that's when Bakugo realized Deku may have more power than him, and he does have an inferiority complex, but it's not a quirk though. It's something else, something that's more powerful than a quirk, and he's kind of fine with it actually. there's something about he thought he would be not okay with it, but after realizing what Deku could do with it, as he explains what Chakra can do to him and such, like enhance his body and his strength and such, it makes sense now on how he defeated those guys, and that he's better off to have Deku as a friend. Well, as Madara as a friend than as an enemy. So yeah, so he keeps that part a secret from everyone. So he just says, "Well, I'm gonna get into UA and I'll be the number 1 hero someday, or at least number 2. It depends on a certain person becomes number 1 before me." As then he looks over at Deku, who still has the green hair and such, which everyone's wondering why is he looking at him. And he even said, "Oh, Midoriya, you're going to UA too. Your grades are good and everything else. You'll definitely get, but you don't have a quirk. But maybe you get into the academic courses and such." And he just nods. He's keeping quiet. He's just keeping quiet, and as everyone's starting laughing, Bakugo just starts yelling at them, saying, "Hey, shut it, extras!" It's basically explosions going off, and they're like all terrified. He says, "Bakugo." He says, "Kachan." As everyone's shocked by this, and he goes, "Fine. You're lucky he's here. If he wasn't, I could have probably took all of you on by myself. But since he's here, you're all safe." As he has respect, no fear, no fear. He understands there's a big gap between him. He just understands there's a gap. So yeah. So basically, at the end of the day, near the end of it, this Uraraku's school comes over. She comes over to Bakugo. Bakugo says we're gonna meet on the roof. Just come up there when you're ready. And yeah, so Deku even has it's Uraraku's birthday and such, so he got her a present, something that she wanted for a while. And let's just say Cammy, had a got out early too, so she wanted to come by, and she's walking over to the school at this moment, just to talk to Izuku and everyone else. But yeah, so anyways, we're going over Deku just goes over to the. So he's walking up to the roof. He has Uraraka's present, and then she just he gets to the door as all of a sudden he hears Uraraka saying, "Bakugo, why do you even care about that quirkless loser?" And he goes, "He ain't a loser. He may be quirkless, but he's a lot more powerful than me and you, any one of us here." And she goes, "What do you mean? He's quirkless. Quirkless are just annoying people. I mean, I've been acting nice to him because he was your childhood friend. I've been acting nice to him just because he seemed like a good person. But man, I mean, I don't like him like that. And it just seems like he thinks that or something. I don't know what's his deal with him just always talking to me and such. I mean, you're his childhood best friend. And then he says, maybe because he thinks of you as a close friend, like me. And then Uraraka just says, friend? Me and him? Okay, first off, just want to say this. I know Uraraka would never say this, but this is a different Uraraka. I'm not gonna make everything canon. Alright? But Madara has changed because he has lived the life of Deku, Izuku Midoriya. So he has his personality. He would not hate Uraraka. He will understand. This society is based off of quirks. So to her, he seems like a nobody. But in the world of Naruto, he was basically a freaking god. Also, let's just say there was also some Hashirama cells. Still he has some DNA of Hashirama, 20% of it that came with him. So he has a good healing too. So yeah. So basically though, even though he understands this, he's still broken. He still feels like she was the only person besides Bakugo that could have been her friend, his friend and all that. And he actually thought she was a close friend. He just says to himself, he goes, huh, even her. And then basically, she says, I'll never be his friend, and no girl will ever love him. As that just broke him a little. Like, he felt betrayed. He had trust in her, and this is how she felt felt about him and everything. Paco just freaking snaps. He just says, "We are done." And she goes, "What? Why?" He goes, "He may be quirkless. He may seem like he's, I don't know, not useful to anyone, but maybe you never noticed. I've been noticing for a while that he's been hiding something from everyone. So I asked him and he told me. But he's been telling me vaguely stuff. About saying, oh, he has these dreams or these memories or such, but that seems like a lie. He seems like he knows a lot more than what he lets on to me and what I've seen. So don't ever call Izuku worthless. Extra." And her heart just broke. He just smiles, but Madara just smiles because that's the first time Bakugo has ever called him Izuku. But the present, he just puts it down and just starts walking away. Like, he puts it down on the floor and starts walking away. And the present was something she wanted for a while. Also, her family doesn't have problems in this. So yeah, I want to put that out real quick. So, anyways, when Uraraka just runs off crying, she's opened the door and then she sees something. She sees a prison on the ground. And Bakugo just sees her drop to her knees. She goes, "Hey, Extra, what's wrong?" As he sees the present and says to her, as she just reads it out loud to Uraraka from Izuku. And then she opens it and it's something she wanted as a kid. Something that they didn't make anymore. Let's just say it was just like a stuffed animal that they didn't make anymore because of nothing was bad with it. It's just it wasn't popular no more, so they stopped making it. And she just starts crying, like she's just thinking, I just hurt my best friend's feelings. She's thinking that. She says she has to make it up. She tries to get it up. She starts running down the stairs, and Deku's already out of the school. He used Chakra just to body flicker down to the first floor and just walk out. And she gets to a window and she sees him just leaving. Bakugo followed her down and he sees her Deku just leaving. So he gets over, he just runs, he just tries to run out. Deku doesn't take the same path, but the Sludge villain attack will happen. But it's with Bakugo, he gets attacked by the Sludge villain and, same thing happens. A different kid no, to make this make sense. Yeah. So he goes down the same path with everything. But Madara is just, I know Madara isn't like this, but he's trying to act like Izuku Midoriya, like how he's been acting for years, what he's been through. He just doesn't want to be himself. That's the reason why he's been putting on this persona of Izuku Midoriya, this quirkless weakling, and only brings back Madara when he absolutely needs it. So what happens is, the Sludge villain does attacks. He says, "Give me your body, kid," and he just dodges it. He's back in Madara mode, so he does fire style, fireball jutsu, and just starts doing it. He just starts making a fireball. So the Sludge villain backs away. He bumps in, and All Might's there. He sees this, and then he says, and then the Sludge villain goes like, "Oh no, All Might," and then he says, "Detroit Smash!" and just punches the Sludge villain. The wind pressure doesn't. Well, he doesn't. Madara doesn't go flying, but yeah. So he's not even unconscious either. So he helps out. All Might, capture the Sludge villain and all that with the bottle and such. And then he also said, he also tells him saying, "It's a good job that you were able to do that. Is that a quirk?" And he goes, "No, sir, it's not." he's just back into being Deku, and he goes, well, I'd like to talk to you more about it, but I gotta go. Because it did take a little bit longer. Like, it was, like, later in the day, the Sludge Villain, so it did take a little bit longer. He's near his time limit, so he can't ask many questions. So basically, he, he doesn't know why, but he grabs onto All Might's leg and just does exactly the same thing happens. The same thing happens, like, in canon, but this. So, whole entire thing asks, are you really All Might? He goes, yes. He tells him about the whole entire thing. Then he talks about Texas Chainsaw, and he says, good job on that. He tells him about All for One, and then, how he is the one who made this and this. Also, I'm not making him get the freaking one for all. I mean, yeah. I'm not making him have that. So it would be, but he will, and Bakugo will be getting it, though. Reasons why. And this one, Bakugo respects him, and I just feel like I want to give Bakugo in this one something. That was my idea. But yeah, so, okay, so what happens is, he asks All Might, can he really be a hero, even if he doesn't have a quirk? And All Might does, All Might does tell him, saying, like, you can't be a hero without a quirk. I'm sorry. It's just too dangerous for someone that has no quirk. Then Deku just Madara just hangs his head down because he doesn't want to go back to being Madara Uchiha. He doesn't want to go back to being the one that had a plan to destroy the shinobi world and doing all this, because he realized what he did was bad. Like, bad. Like, he regrets everything. Which, the Sage of Six Paths has been watching him still from the Naruto universe. And just, like, he's smiling that Madara has grown up to be such a good person and a kind boy. And that he refrains from using his immense power for evil. But even though he can, but that girl, he does sense darkness in his heart now. Because he's being crushed and saying if he doesn't do something, he'll go back to being the Madara Uchiha that will take over the world as such. But while he's looking at him, he's seen, All Might, or should I say, Toshinori is seeing himself. He remembers how he was. As then, he remembers what he said to, Nana, Shimura, and all that. And then he just says to himself, I'm just like everyone else. I forgot where I started. And then he just hits the ground, which surprises, basically, Madara and all that. And he said, oh my, he goes, sorry about that. I forgot where I started. Because what? Let me take back my words. And let me apologize. I was once quirkless just like you. But this quirk I have was passed down to me by my teacher, Nana Shimura. This quirk is one for all. So, you asked if you can be a hero. The you that is right now, no. But train yourself for 10 months straight. Non-stop training. And make sure that you can improve to become a hero. Even if you're quirkless. He said, so you believe in me? He goes, yes, I believe in you. And then all of a sudden, he started to see something else. He started to tell that this isn't really him. He says, why are you hiding behind a mask? And he goes, what? He goes, I can easily tell when someone's hiding behind a mask that they've been suppressing the real self. He goes, alright, All Might. Let me tell you this straight. So he starts explaining about the shinobi world and how it all how he was and how everything happened, what he did and how messed up it was, and he regrets it all. And then he asks, "So can I really be a hero? Can I really be a hero after everything I've done? All the bad. Can I erase it all just by becoming a hero to save multiple lives?" As All Might is in shock, but because he can tell that he's not lying. So he says, so he just asks, "Do you truly regret it?" He says, "Yes, I do. That is why I do not act like who I was. This is why I act like what everyone thought I was. Quirkless, weak. And yet I still train. I still work on my body in secret. The bare minimum just so I can use my chakra control everything." As All Might looks at him in the eyes and says, "Of course you can. You can be a hero now. A new life, a new beginning. But does that mean you cannot forget where you started? So what was your name in the past?" "Madara Uchiha." "Well then, Madara Uchiha, you too can become a hero." As his eyes widen and then a grin comes onto his face. And then he just says, "Thank you, All Might. Thank you." Now, as All Might, he raises that eyebrow and goes, "Now this world will know the true Izuku Midoriya." But as the hero name, Madara Uchiha, as then all of a sudden the Sharingan activates. The three Tomoe, which All Might is just smiling. He says, "So, this is not a quirk?" As he goes, "No, this is called a Sharingan. It's a dojutsu. It basically is what the Uchihas have. Even though even though my bloodline in this world is not an Uchihas, I was reincarnated to this body. So that means my soul itself altered the DNA, uh, altered my DNA, or someone, probably my DNA, or the Sage of Six Paths, altered it. So that way I could use my Sharingan, or give me the ability to use it, but not as a quirk, just by a dojutsu still. Because I can have Chakra." As All Might says, "Well then, Madara Uchiha, I wait for the day you become a hero. And if so, would you ever accept my quirk? Just to have it, so that way if I fall, you can then help the next generation." As he says, "All Might, I will not use your quirk. But if you mean for me just to help out by securing its safety, and I will. I promise you that. You have given me hope. You have given me a chance. But now I must go for 10 months and train." So basically he walks out and he sees an image, a spiritual form of basically what Madara looks like. As he just gets a cold sweat, like saying, "I glad I took back my words. If he became a villain, we would have been in way worse trouble." Okay, quick pause. I know I make a lot of hero dekus. That's because I can, like I always say, I can make it a villain and it can just be too easy. It'll be boring. I like challenges. So yeah. So this is gonna be another hero one because why not? Madara the God. But anyways, yeah. So Madara, he walks down the stairs. All my, is walking past. Just starting to walk down after thinking about what he said, and he literally curses himself out because he was never like that at the beginning. He's let as soon as he became a pro hero, he started to let society alter his mind, and he cursed himself out for that. So he needs to go back to his roots too. He needs to start over in his philosophy, his everything from square one. Because he even just like says, it must have been also this injury I took. I must have let this decided my philosophy from right then and there. How pathetic have I become? Basically. And so he hears the explosion. He runs down along with Deku's like, near it down, and he hears it. Well, not Deku, Madara. So basically that happens, and he has the Sharingan activated. So he doesn't see like chakra flows and all that, but it's very different. He's starting to see, something strange. Now he's starting to notice that he can see the quirks and all that, along with like the chakra point, like chakra flow and everything. And it's just like people have it anyway, because it's life energy. And so he sees All Might, and then he like basically was wondering what that explosion was when he looks in the distance and he sees All Might. Because All Might noticed that there was no bottle, and then one day you get he says Izuku, Madara. He goes, call me Midoriya for right now. He goes, all right, Midoriya, come with me. And basically they just run over. He notices Madara is Madara's basically holding himself back. And when he gets there, they see the explosion. Bakugo is still, he gets attacked by a sludge villain and being like suffocated and all that. Uraraka and his friends are there. They're just saying, the heroes can't help them, and like they're crying. And basically, All Might saying, basically Madara says, this is my fault. He says, All Might says, no, it wasn't your fault. You didn't know this would happen. Do not blame as then he just gives All Might his bag and says, it is, and I need to fix it. And then all of a sudden, he starts walking through the crowd. Uraraka and, the goons see him walking through as basically the pro heroes. He gets to the line with the pro hero that's making like water and such, just like, stopping everyone as he just walks right through. Everyone's wondering, what the? Are you crazy? As then the heroes even try like saying, hey, civilian, get back here. As then he just looks at them and they're just like backing away because they see this glare with the three Tomoe Sharingan as Deku just Madara's just like unclipping his uniform, basically. And so he just looks at the fire. He just goes, basically, though, he has like all 5 chakra natures, so he basically just looks at those sludge and the sludge goes like, you, why are you here? It doesn't matter. If you take any step closer, I will hurt this kid. And basically just says, he just starts doing hand sign. He says, and then he says, water style. Great flood. I think there's like that, or great tsunami or something. As then he just starts filling his lungs up with water, and then he just starts spewing it out, which everyone's seen it. And then basically he only did enough to like get the fire out and such, and then he says, water style, water dragon jutsu. And basically 2 dragons like from behind come at the sludge villain and hits him. And Bakugo was able to make an explosion just to get free and such. So basically he gets out of there. As he says, not bad, is it? And he sees the eyes and he goes, my real name was Madara Uchiha. He goes, what? He goes, don't worry about that now. Get out of here. He goes, and he nods and just gets back away from him. And then he says, so, have you ever felt something that's so painful that ever happened to you? And he goes, like, what? He goes, and then he just starts doing hand signs. He says, lightning style. He said, Chidori. Basically, and then all of a sudden, Chidori appears in his hand. And he says, 1,000 birds. As everyone hears like 1,000 chirps and everything. But instead of running towards him, he just touches the water and just starts electrocuting everything all the way up to the sludge villain. because all that water was from behind him when hit him basically. So yeah, so that happens, and the Sludge villain is knocked out. He did not die, and then he just body flickers away over to Toshin, over to like All Might, and then he body flickers away again. Bakugo sees this. He knew the gap was big, and he knows now how destructive Chakra could really become with ninjutsus. And now he understands why. He doesn't understand though why he never explained it or, told anyone about this. But hey, he must have his reasons. He'll ask him when he sees him again. Because now he has a feeling he's gonna be training, and he doesn't have no time for like chit chats. So yeah, he was on the news. Nobody knows who he was. Oraka doesn't know what happened. Cammy basically was like heard what Oraka did. She was looking for him also basically. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, Bakugo told her she got upset with Oraka. She started yelling at her and such. But then when she got over to where the explosion was, she saw just Midoriya just using summons out water dragon, summons out then using lightning and all that, and disappearing, grabbing his book back from a guy and disappearing again. She doesn't know what happened to him. She doesn't know what's going on. But I'm making Okami basically like the same year as them, and I decided in the middle of this to change her to be into UA. She's just replacing Mineta. All right. So yeah. Hold on, everyone. Something's wrong. All right. Sorry about that, but yeah. So what happens is this: Deku gets home. I keep on saying Deku and Madara. Sorry, I'm so used to saying Deku, but yeah. He gets home. His mom is asking, "What was that? What happened?" And he just tells her, I'm gonna go training into the woods for the next 10 months, and so I'll not be home. But I need to explain everything to you first." So he tells her everything that he's been keeping hidden from her. She then gets up after he explains, and he thinks she's gonna like hurt, like tell him to get out or something. But no, she hugs him. She's still the same canon like Inko, like basically she was like skinny when she was like when Izuku was younger, but then got all of a sudden shrunk and fat. But still best mom. But yeah, she just hugs him, and she is just crying that her baby boy has been keeping this from her because he was afraid. She can tell he was afraid just to even talk about his past to anyone in this new life. She says, "You are my son no matter what now. You were given a new life and a new chance. It does not matter. You are my Izuku. Nothing more, nothing less." He says, "I know, Mom. It's hard to let go of what you've done. I'm just sorry." And, he starts crying. He's still, like I said, he does have canon Izuku things, happening. So he does have that, he does get more emotional in this. Instead of, like Madara, he's always serious. Next thing you know, the Sage of Six Paths appears. He goes, "Madara, or should I say Izuku, Midoriya." And she goes, who are you? Inko looks and he says, "Sage of Six Paths. Why are you?" He goes, "How are you enjoying your life in this world with no chakra?" He goes, "I'm grateful for this new chance. I really am. I've been keeping an eye on you. You have grown. You have changed. You are not the same person as you were when you were basically in our universe. As he nods slowly. He goes, "You understand that this was a new life and a new beginning. I'm happy. But you need to remember, do not forget who you were. Those skills, that knowledge, can still help you today. In this world with no chakra, you just used your skills and chakra control, and even jutsus I have given you, and jutsus you already knew, to help out someone, a friend of yours that you thought was not ever going to be your friend again." As he says, "I know. I just wanted to come and tell you. I'm very happy for you. And Miss Incomodoria, thank you for helping Madara out in these times that he has had. He has not had a good life. As a child, it was sort of okay, he says. But then as an adult life, it was all about battles and bloodshed. As, he basically told her the whole entire truth about his past and all that, and she says, "I know, he told me." He goes, "But you don't understand what that means. He has done a lot of things that was horrible. But now he has regretted it because of this new life. Please watch over him still, like he's your son." And she says, "I always will. He is my son. It doesn't matter if he was a killer in his old life. That was in another dimension or reality, wherever he came from. He is Izuku, not Madara Uchiha." And then he does ask, Sage of Six Paths, "May I ask you a question?" He goes, "Yes, Madara, what was it?" He goes, "How is it that you said I was still gonna have the Sharingan, the Renegon, and everything else?" He goes, "Oh, well, while I just transfer you over into this world, or this dimension of reality and such, I sort of tweaked your DNA. I had to match it up with, basically, into this world, but I also tweaked it. Tweak your soul waves or length or DNA, however you want to say it, basically, just to be into this world. But I also kept the Sharingan still there. So you are welcome." And he goes, "Okay, I got it." Because he read about DNA and such in this, and like My Hero Academia universe, they're like more advanced than the ninja world, so he understands about DNA, how it was tweaked, and since he has watched Madara, so he understands it too. So yeah, I'm not gonna throw in some BS without knowledge for you guys. They both know about DNA now. They both know how to tweak and such, and that's what he did without even knowing it. The Stage of Six Pass. So yeah. So he does tell him though he does ask him, how's Naruto and Sasuke Uchiha doing? And then he tells him about Naruto became the Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. And Sasuke, well, he may be someone that doesn't come to the village much, but he still protects it. As he smiles, he says, "So those two have become even stronger than I remember now." Good. And she goes, "Huh?" He goes, "Two people I fought before." She goes, "Oh, alright." And that's what equals one. So basically, yeah. So we're kind of going to be doing it multiple times. Then we're just going to be doing a time skip until the ninth month. Alright? So what happens is, well, they pack up. Deku's school knows they're going to the woods no, they're getting ready. Deku's like doing like some, hold on, boy. Sorry, just the phone notifications, whatever. So, after during the first 2 months, Deku has done whatever he needs to like get like scores and such to get into UAs and all that. But he has done training. Inko has been helping him. He has done some actual Madara Uchiha training, which is like very, very hard for him. at first because he hasn't done it in year. Well, he's been slack. He has slacked off a lot. So basically, he is just training himself every day before like school. He trains himself for at least an hour. Then he goes back. Then he goes over to school and such, and then he just trains himself for basically multiple hours after school ends until dinner. Well, until he has to go to bed and such. Then when school ends, him and Inko go into the woods for so that was 2 months. So basically, for 5 months, they're in the woods. You know, they are in the woods, but they are clearly to a store to get food and such there when needed, and stuff. And she has learned about how he knows how to go to camp and such and all that, and how to hunt in that, and check for berries and herbs and such, and just that. So she is impressed by this, and also she has seen what he can really do. He has trained himself to become back in peak Madara Uchiha condition. And since he has been accepting himself as to be both an Izuku Midori and Madara Uchiha, he has basically got his black hair back, but it still has green in it. So it's at the near the end of it, so like the tips of his hair, he gets the long hair and then like the green. So it is still that. He has unlocked. I mean, he's basically uses the Sharingan. He can use Eternal the Mangekyo, Eternal Mangekyo, and he can actually use the Renegon. It's just that he's gonna have to work on the Renegon Sharingan, basically. That's it. That's the one he's gonna have to work on. But still, he's happy with what he has. So that so it's basically the 7th month. So in the 8th month, he does karate, taekwondo, whatever, kendo, taekwondo. I can't believe I forgot the name. Mixed martial arts and such. He does like iron bone training too. He does it a lot. So his bones are basically will not be breakable. They're like hard as steel, which is like Inko kind of was like worried about it even when he was doing his hardcore training. But she understands and like how it was since he's been slacking. He actually has been like he somehow was able to create a material, an actual weights. I mean, he found out to how to use gravity weights. He has increased the weights for every month. As soon he is like, he just trained as hard as he can, push his body to the limits, and just basically increase. He was at 1, and during the next like all the way to like the 7th month, he's up to level 9 of gravity weights and such. So yeah, he has also remembered how to use healing ninjutsus and all that, and basically during the 7th month, the Sage of Six Paths brought Tsunade to him, which surprised him, and she recognized him and says, Madara? He goes, my name is Izuku Midoriya, or you can just call me Izuku Madara Midoriya Uchiha. Whatever fits for you, it doesn't really matter to me. And she's like, okay. I mean, she asks the Sage of Six Paths why she's here, and he just tells her to teach Madara, or should I say Izuku, some healing ninjutsus. The ones that you taught that Sakura Haruno girl. And she goes, no way, I'll never teach. And then Inko's there. She goes, sweetie, who's this? He goes, oh, this is Tsunade, one of the 3 Sani. She's very skilled in medical ninjutsu. She once had a fear of blood, but since Naruto, who hastily helped her out to get over it. How is the young fox doing? She just says, good. He hates paperwork. He hates paperwork though. He just, and basically Mara just laughs. I'm saying, like, I don't know if she was alive still, but let's just say she died around around after like a few months when Naruto became the Hokage. So yeah. So basically, what happens is like she starts teaching him medical ninjutsu during the 7th month, along with while he's doing his hardcore training, and Inko explains everything to her, what he's been doing all this time, which Tsunade has been shocked that he has not killed anyone or basically done the whole entire Madara Uchiha thing. So yeah. So that was during the 7th month. 8 months is just like he just goes to different like schools, like martial arts schools and such, and he does like he learns what they do. So that he has also done iron training, which he learned and all that, and stuff like that. So he has basically learned, what he could from them in matters of days. He had no time to wait, so he just did it all like in about like 2 weeks. Every single school, like he went to 4 different schools. One did a week. One school was just a week. Another school was just like 2 days, and another school was like freaking 5 days or such. And then one school was just in a day because it was like he was just freaking too strong. Like that's how powerful he was. So yeah. So after that, during the 9th month, he just studied. I was gonna have him just All Might meet him again, but nah. I'm gonna save that. I'm saving that for like before the whole entire like while he's in UA, he's gonna go. He's gonna like help All Might take down like a freaking army of villains that are the same size of the Shinobi Alliance. Almost the same size. They're just missing 2 people, and it would be the same army size. But yeah. So what happens is his personality changed. Like Tsunade did leave to go back to her world, back to Naruto's universe and such. And his attitude changed, his personality. He's way more calmer, chill, and less like serious and such. He's more jokeable, like joking. So he just studies, and Inko asks, "How's it going, sweetie?" He goes, "It's fine, mom. Just just a little bit having troubles with this freaking studying. Still don't get how freaking quirks and hero business have to matter on this topic and such." And she comes over and looks and she doesn't understand it either, but hey, he just like kind of can glance over it and then like he'll remember it and such, and it's just like, yeah, I'm Madara. Just because he's Madara, he can do this. So yeah, he just learns what he needs to, and he does go to like college level work and like college level like hero work and such. So yeah. Oh, and since he was in the woods for a couple, like Tammy, Uraraka, Bakugo, and his goons were just like texting him basically to see if he's all right and such. After the whole entire incident, like they couldn't talk at school because he just kept on body flickering away. Well, hit Bakugo and the goons. Uraraka has been just saying, "Can we meet up, please? We need to meet up." He has not meet up with her. He's just been training. He has not been ignoring her on purpose. He just needs to train. That was it. So yeah. So it's the day of the UA exam. So he walks up, looks at the school, and is just grinning. He's just happy. He says, "The school of my dream. Well, the school of my dreams to try to prove I can be a hero." Finally here. I just starts walking. He will not trip because he's Madara. So yeah. And Deku has actually changed his name to be. Well, his mom has literally gone over, like, wanted to go over and say, like, we can change your name to be Madara Uchiha, or, Izuku Midori still, or just combine it and such. He says he's gonna use it as a hero named Madara Uchiha. She goes, "Oh, okay." So yeah, so that happened. Like, she understands that now. Like that was like the thing she wanted to do like before the exam. But yeah, he goes in. He basically doesn't like tell. He says he doesn't want to tell anyone about his quirk, but when the written exam, he aces it. He gets it done real quick. He even corrects Nezu, and then that's it. He just hands it in. He goes over, waits for President Mike to get there. President Mike comes in. They have a little, like, they go, "Whoa there, kid. How you got done with it so quickly?" He goes like, "Easy. It was just too easy." That's all he says. And he goes, "Well, you might have a little chat with me on all that?" He goes, "Sure." So he goes down. He goes over to President Mike's desk, and they just start having a conversation. He basically talks about the stuff that he can do and such. Just he's not afraid to tell anyone now. and he just tells him about his real past and such, and that's just shocking to President Mike. Well, I mean, he just tells him the bare minimum. He does says like, and then he goes, "Really, you did all that?" He goes, "Yeah." But I mean, he basically tells him what he did, like with the bow staff and such, and what he can do, and what he thinks he can do because of what he calls himself his core chakra, basically. And that's it, and that it's life force, and he can't. No one can ever take it away from him. So that's a little bit, convenient plot element I'm putting in. But yeah. So after that, after a little chat, Bako comes in. He goes, "Oi, Izuku!" As he looks over, he goes, "Yeah, Kachan?" He goes, huh, "Call me Baku or something like I call you by your real name." He goes, "Or you just come up with a new nickname for me." He goes like, "Yeah, how about just keep it with Deku?" He goes, "I ain't used to." He goes like, "Nah, you do the impossible. You can make the impossible possible and all that." He goes, "So you're changing it because of what I did?" And he goes, "Yeah." So come on, let's talk and see how much you've grown. And by the way, he is still like he has grown a little bit taller than Bakugo. He's near Iida's height, but he's tall, skinny, and muscular. Not like real bad, like real much, but just how I think just the way like Naruto was, and like the same height as Naruto, the same body build, but a little bit more muscles and all that, and that's it. As Banco sees this, he goes, "You got taller than me." He goes, "Yeah." So come on, tell me everything. As he tells him everything who he was, which it takes up all the way to like President Mike starts saying, "Hello there, everyone." As Balco is like just processing this information, and then he had to process it real quick, so he came to terms with it. He was a freaking person that was basically a god, and tried to take over the world. It failed. He regrets everything that he's ever done, like ever harmed or killed someone, and he wanted to become a hero, but he didn't know because of what he did. He didn't know if he could be redeemed, and he respects him even more now because someone like him who did bad things realized what he did now is wrong. By living this life and wants to try to push himself forward to become a hero, to save lives now, to amend for everything he's done. He just respects it. Cammy and Uraraka are in the same room. So what happens is Uraraka doesn't know like who that is really. She hasn't seen Izuku, what she sees him as Izuku in a long time, Cammy hasn't either. And just ignore whoever that was. Just probably my wire for my phone. But yeah, they have not seen him, so they don't know what he really looks like. But Bakugo has seen like him and Inko. That's the only way how he knows. He knows who he is because he has seen him with Inko going out, helping her out with such like shopping and all that, and him and Mitsuki were just out too. So she says, "Inko, who's this?" And he goes, "Oh, this is Izuku." He goes, "Hello there, Auntie." And Bakugo, it's like he wasn't really paying attention much. He just was like looking up and down, and he was not paying attention to how tall he was. So that's why he says, "Wow, you're taller than me." He was just all surprised. All he was looking at is like his eyes are different because he's always keeping the Sharingan activated, and it's always in the third time mode. He's gonna keep it like the progression of how it could change. He's not gonna use it. He's not gonna use it unless he absolutely needs to. So yeah. So that happens. They both get separated. Oh no! I forgot. So President Mike, starting to go over the robots, and then when he gets to the 0 pointer, Iida is interrupting him, and then all of a sudden, he just says wood style, wood binding, and then he just wood binds Iida, and then he goes, thank you. He goes, no problem. I just really want to hear what you have to say. And he goes, wow, really? He goes, yeah, you're really cool pro hero. President Mike, come on, continue on, please. As he just says, "All right." So then he talks about the 0 point, how it was just an obstacle. You don't really have to worry about it and such. But he knows it's, and then he whispers to Bakugo that it's just to weed out the weaklings. So what do you mean? He was like, it's to see who's really heroes and who's not. He goes, oh, all right. So do we have to face it? No, it's just like if anyone's in danger, just fight it. Or like just try to help them out, get out of the way, or just try to take off like a leg or something. Just do that. He goes, gotcha. So basically, and he's like really surprised about his attitude. Like he says, you're a lot more chill. And he goes, yeah, I mellowed out. Then he releases the woodbine on Iida. He goes, how dare you? I am Iida 10. And then Deku just said, Madara says, yeah, a name means nothing. He goes, what? I mean, a name means nothing without the person. The name does not make the person makes the name. And you, to me, who do not make a name. You just are just a person who's basically trying to act like he is superior or has I don't know, who's above everyone. That is arrogance. You do not know anything. So shut your mouth and sit down. And then the showing, he's basically just looking at him, and he just sits down out of fear. Because he just even though he has a chill personality now, he's like mellowed out. He does act like Madara still. He acts like Madara / Izuku. So, and Bakugo just grinning at this. Cammy is kind of, taken back by this when she heard it. And Haraka is just, like upset because Izuku was so nice and everything. And this is just different. She doesn't know how to feel. And Bakugo, after they broke up, her and Bakugo broke up. She hasn't, talked to him because it would have been good and such. So, but she has texted him during like the 7th month and just trying to fix their relationship, just to be friends at least. So that was it. So yeah, so they get split off. Uraraka's in the same area. Cammy's in the same area. Iida, and is in there too. But so basically, I'm just gonna call him Madara. So basically, Madara's just standing in the back, just doesn't even care. He's not doing nothing. Then Iida just comes over and says, "How dare you do that to me? That was really disrespectful. You made me look like a fool and all that." And he's just ignoring him. And he goes, "Answer me." Says, "It's rude to not answer somebody." And then he just opens up his eyes. And he goes, "And it's rude to just start to annoy someone for no reason. You literally think I just embarrassed you? You embarrassed yourself. Now then." And then he says, "Tsukiyomi." As basically, he does the Mangekyo Sharingan, and then says Tsukiyomi, and basically then Iida's in there. He does nothing to him. He's just gonna keep him in, just like put him in the Genjutsu, just so he can stay out of his way. For now, so right when the President Mike says there are no time limits, there's like no countdowns for heroes. So as soon as those doors open, you just go. And then he basically deactivates the Genjutsu, and he goes like, "What the?" He goes, "There's no countdown, just run." And then he just walks away. Iida just says, "What?" And then as the doors just open, he just starts running. Or should I say, he just starts doing a light jog. He doesn't want to run too fast, show off his skills. Iida is the faster one because he's not, because Madara's just like saying, "I don't want to show off too much of my skills just yet." So basically, he's doing like a light jog. Iida's faster than him. He goes like, "I'll teach him, not to mess with Iida, the Tenya family." And then so people start getting some robots. Then Madara starts to move a little bit faster. He just goes after every robot. He doesn't care about the points. He just goes after them. He just punches right through them because Tsunade teach him more than just ninjutsu, like healing ninjutsus. He also told him about the chakra, with imbuing into your fist for more power and such. So he learned that. He just started to do that. He started to freaking even lift up some 3-pointers and throwing them. into like other robots, and everyone's just seeing this, including with the heroes. All Might, who's there, is just in shock. He knows those like that green hair, like those that green in the hair and such. He remembers the eyes. Nezu's just saying, "Oh, that is Zuka Midoriya. Hmm, what's his quirk?" And like because it doesn't say it as basically, you know, Nezu's just intrigued by this. So what happens is, after like after 40 minutes of this, Nezu decides to bring out the zero pointer, and Araka does get trapped, but Madara's on the other side of the place, and when he hears the pounding on the ground, he just body flickers up to a building. He sees the zero pointer, so he just starts, basically running on the rooftops, jumping from building to building. Which heroes see this. Even Aizawa, who's there, he was like, "Huh, that kid's very nimble and agile, like nimble and quick, basically." And he's just like he's able to do parkouring easily. So he's like right when he gets like to outside of the alleyway, he sees everything in slow motion. He sees the zero point people running, and then he sees Uraraka. He does not care what Uraraka did. He is okay with what she said. Like I said, he does not blame her. He's okay. So as soon as he sees her, he just starts imbuing his body with chakra, just blitzing right past everything, and gets there. He uses chakra to lift up the rubble and throw it off her body. Grabs her body, flickers over to everyone else, and then runs. She goes, "Izuku, don't!" And then when he just jumps up in the air, he activates Internal Mangekyo Sharingan, and then he says Susanoo, and then he creates his Susanoo from Naruto, as everyone just sees this, and Haraka's in shock, everyone's in shock, and then all of a sudden the blade, like the Susanoo has the blades, as it just slashes right in, like was the same size as the zero point, as it just slashed right when he created it down into the zero point, cutting it, and deactivates the Susanoo. And he lands, and then he just starts walking away while the robot is still together. It just starts falling apart. Well, cut it in half basically, as it starts one side's falling down, one side's falling forward. As everyone's seeing this, he's not even looking backwards. He's just walking. And then President goes, "Well, now everyone, that was quite interesting, and that's all the time we have. Now, please, if you did not pass and you don't get a letter in the mail, please go to our schools, hero schools, and apply. We need more heroes out there in the world. Please do so." So Uraraka, basically has the injury. Rikarugo's coming over as he, basically gets over to Rikarugo and Uraraka, and everyone else basically, and she asks if everyone okay. Uraraka says my ankles, hurt a little bit, and Rikarugo is about to use her quirk and such. He says, "Please, Rikarugo, allow me to do this." And she goes, "What?" And then he just does the hand signs and just heals her. Also, I forgot to mention, I really did. He knows his multi-shadow clone jutsu. So that's how he did the hard training so quickly. Alright? He knows about like what they can do and such. So yeah, I forgot to mention that. My apologies. So yeah, so he healed Uraraka's injury as she's taking him, and he just says, "No problem. I'll see you later. If you get into UA at least." She goes, "Izuku, he goes, "It doesn't matter. I should be thanking you, actually." She goes, "What?" He goes, "I'll explain more later." Bye, Uraraka. And he just leaves. So, he waits. Bakugo's, name was done. Oh, yeah, I also forgot Cammy. Since I said Cammy was there, Cammy, sees him, saw what he did and such, and she just runs over to him. She says, "Midoriya!" He looks over and goes, "Oh, Cammy! Hey, sorry about not texting you at all. It's just, I had some training I need to do, and I had to catch up a lot on it, so, my bad." As he's just scratching the back of his head, and she's just seeing him, and she just hugs him, and he goes, "Why are you hugging me?" He goes, "You idiot, I was worried about you," she just says. He goes, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah. I mean, you look different, and she's like just realized she just hugged him and felt his back and such as she's blushing. He goes like, and he notices. He goes like, so, like what you see, and her face gets bright red because let's just say he's wearing like a shirt that's kind of small on him. He's just wearing like a regular shirt that's small on him basically, and it's just black. So he just says he needs to go shopping later. So this is all he had, and she says, "All right, yeah, I do like what I see, but you know, are you okay?" Basically she sees the eyes and such, and she doesn't know what the heck was that. He goes, "Yeah, just don't worry about it. I'm fine. I'll catch up with you later. All right. Well, let's talk during this week if about when we get into UA with Bakugo and such, and with Bakugo and everything." She goes, "All right." So yeah, that's what happens. So while they're waiting for the letters, Cammy, Bakugo, and him do catch. Well, he tells her everything. She's in shock about what he's done, and he actually liked Cammy. He really did like Cammy. So he's. Ooh, I don't know why I'm just burping. My apologies, but yeah. So he was worried as she says, "At least you want to become a hero now," and in that world, it was kill or be killed. So you really have no other choice. So don't blame yourself for. But then he says, "But it was my idea to try to take over and change the world, the ninja world and such." She goes, "Yeah, but at least you wanted to, you were trying to do something good, but save the world and such and all that, but in a bad way." He goes, "Yeah, to do good, you have to do bad sometimes." He says, and she laughs a little bit about that, but he does say, but he's glad he's not doing that here because he doesn't need to. But he is glad though he has people like you around as he just looks at Bakugo and her. As she blushes, Bakugo just grins, and he does say, "Even though you were a jerk to me back in the day, Bakugo." And he goes, "Hey, I thought you were saying Kachan." And he goes, "Oh, I thought you never wanted me to call you that again, Kachan." He goes like, "Ugh, what's with you and going back and forth?" He goes, "Yeah, it pisses you off, right?" He goes, "Yeah, that's why." He goes, "Ugh, I should really kick your butt, you shitty nerd." He goes, "Bring it on, Pomeranian." As they both just glare at each other, and Cammy just wondering, and then they just start laughing. You're like, "Man, when have we ever had like this friendly before?" He goes, "I forget when. Why did we, why did I hate you again?" He goes, "I was quirkless, and I still am." He goes, "Yeah, but this is better than any quirk. So, screw it, I wish I had your power." He goes, "Trust me, you don't. Power corrupts." He goes, "Yeah, good. Yeah, that is true." So yeah, so after that, they all go home and such, and the letter comes in the same day. He opens it up with his mom nearby, and they said, they say he got the top score in the written portion, he got the top score in the combat portion, and All Might is impressed because he broke the record, and he says, "Well now, Izuku Midoriya, or should I say Madara Uchiha, welcome to your hero academia. And I told you, you could become a great hero." As Aiko's crying, he's crying, they're just both hugging each other, and that's where I'm ending off, everyone. I hope you guys enjoy this story. I kind of was trying to think of multiple ways how to do this, and it kind of just came up to this. So yeah, I mean, he is gonna be betrayed. I mean, he got betrayed, friend wise, and I know I made Madara different in this one, but it's a what if. Of course, it's gonna be different. I mean, please understand that. I want to have fun with it, so yeah. And you guys want to probably have fun listening to it, so that's what I want to do. I want to change it to be fun. But yeah, like just comment saying like, "Oh, like it's not good because of like Madara's not serious and such." Just like remember, I wanted to change this so you guys can have fun. I can make him serious at times, which it's gonna happen anyways. But yeah, so everyone be safe out there. Don't get sick from the coronavirus and don't get sick. Just stay safe. Bye, everyone.